That's the march we had on news, and we're back to the conversation, the Mount Kenya tour by the president. And of course, we take a look at what has played out thereafter, the reactions that we continue to get, the revelations that we have seen, that is the political revelations, and what is likely to culminate out of this grand one-week tour. And of course, in studio still, we have Ngogoyo, Onesmus, Member of Parliament, Kajiado North. Mheshimiwa, you will forgive me if I pronounced your name wrong, but I'm sure I got it right. And we also have Professor Macharia Munene and Dr. John Mutunga, the Member of Parliament, Tigania West. We go straight to this bite by the Nyeri Governor, Mutahi Kahiga, who tells us just who is the king of the mountain, perhaps not directly, but equally saying that maybe it is not the president, as many would want to argue as it now.
Rais ni kingpin wa Kenya, lakini pengine sio kingpin wa mlima. Ukimwona mwambie Mheshimiwa Rais, wewe ni kingpin wa Kenya, lakini kwa mlima una wenyewe.
All right, and of course, Professor Macharia Munene, what do you make of the development tour of the mountain? Has it yielded any form of fruit for the president? That 2027 looks good. I know, looking at this vote-rich region.
Well, it was a desperate move.
It's
nothing else. It's political, in the sense that Shagua refused to stay in the oblivion.
Okay.
It was the minute he was impeached.
So it was a test that the president was making of the mountain's grounds.
It was just to let people know I'm still there. It's a campaign mode. Mainly because Gachagua was looking as if he's getting very popular. More popular than when he was deputy president. Actually, as deputy president, he was not popular. But as person who was removed wrongfully, according to some people, and then he did not stay impeached, came out.
Right.
So that in itself seems to have scared the Ruto camp in such a way that it acted in desperation. It had to be seen.
Okay.
And before even coming to the mountain, he went to a lot of places. And so there being on car roofs. Back in 2022, 2021, and forget about the running of the country, but that political visibility was the main thing. And all the time it was a building up to visiting the mountain. And yes, he did visit, and he was received as a visitor. It's good manners to receive visitors. It's not, and in fact, it is very bad manners to be hostile to a visitor. So that part it was expected.
Okay.
The fact that there were some people who were organized, the crowd was organized. That in itself is something else. But that is not to deny the fact that they are curious people. The fact that if some famous person is passing there at Inani, also they just go and see.
Okay.
That doesn't mean anything.
Not knowing that there are others who have been.
Yeah, those who are facilitated.
And you're certain that this is, I mean, these are some of the revelations that are coming up, whether true or not.
There is facilitation. These two politicians can tell you that they are facilitation.
There was massive facilitation.
Then at least that's what we are getting in the media.
Okay.
In the news, and all the newspapers, they talk about this. And how much was the facilitation? Ranging from 300 to 10,000.
Yeah.
So, and millions for the organizers. That's what we are being told. Either way, the orchestration was good.
It worked.
It worked.
Magic for them.
And
that a hostile Mount Kenya turned out to be very friendly.
I think people had been saying there's no need of being hostile.
Okay. No need of refusing the money?
If the money is there, take it. And and then you still have 2 years to make your mind, make up your mind. But generally, let's say the mountain, my is that the mountain is not very happy with the president.
But we'll be coming to that and getting to understand why you say that.
Well, just a little bit.
Okay.
Then with the governor, and he was saying the president should be told he may be a mountain, a kingpin of the country.
Yes, but not
of the mountain.
But he too was there when the president visited his county, and he said, we had missed you kidogo, you know.
Well, he's a politician, so
you'd expect for him,
you expect this kind. I mean, he's got a visitor in his house. He's not supposed to go around saying nasty things.
Okay.
So he said, welcome. You know, that's normal.
Good manners.
And it's good manners.
Okay.
And in the mountain, there's no such a thing as a king or kingpin.
Okay.
In the first place, the people in the mountain don't believe in kings.
Is it so?
Yeah, they don't.
Okay.
They rejected the idea a few generations ago, the Iraqi generation.
That even the former president, at least if we're going to look at the closest, was not a kingpin in any way?
Oh, he was just a leader.
That Kibaki was not?
No, he was a leader who accepted. Didn't make him a king.
Okay.
But this misuse of the term kingpin, you know, creating an image which is not real.
All right.
You know, that somebody has to be a king. No.
Neither here or there.
But Gachagua himself had used the same terminology.
Yes.
He had called Ruto the king of Kenya, and he claimed to be the king of the mountain.
Okay.
That's when he was the number 2, you know, before things went haywire. So they have that kind of misuse of language.
Interesting. And he wanted to be a kingmaker according to the president, and therefore he asked for 10 million. Well, 10 billion, yeah? We'll be coming back to that. But Mheshimiwa Dr. Mutunga, that this was not, would you make, what do you think? Was this a development tour, having been a beneficiary, or an assessment tour of, you know, the political damage that the former deputy president has caused?
Thank you very much. First of all, if you speak anything positive about the government, the Gachagua followers call you a sycophant.
Okay.
So I'm not surprised.
Even when it's evident that
I'm not very surprised.
Okay.
So it is normal, because they follow faithfully without asking questions, then you're a sycophant. Now, the president went to Nyanza. He toured Nyanza thoroughly.
Yes.
He inspected development projects, made promises, and also launched several others.
And Western too.
Why was it not an issue? He went to Western, and he did as much. He went to Coast. He did the same.
But Mheshimiwa,
he came back to Nairobi. Now, excuse me. What is wrong with going to Mount Kenya? Let me just get to know that.
It is an issue.
What actually is wrong?
The people of Kenya are looking at some of the promises that the president made.
Are you saying that the president should just have
that perhaps have not been achieved, and therefore they are asking at the mountain?
Let us speak like Kenyans.
Okay.
We know there are challenges in this country.
Okay.
My friend Kohoya and I sit in parliament, and we know what is in the past. We know that this country has reached the ceiling. You cannot continue borrowing. We know that you have to continue paying debts. We know that we have commitments that we need to meet. We know that the development resources are dwindling. They're shrinking by the day. Even the last supplementary, a kind of ate a little bit of development into recurrent. Now,
is this what the president tells us when he visits these areas? Or he shouldn't as the head of state? I
do not prepare presidents.
Okay.
And I wouldn't probably expect him to say that. I'm saying what I know is the reason why we are where we are right now. When a president decides to visit a region, he does not need to do preparation to visit a region. Because the argument on the table is like, he really did all this so that he can visit Mount Kenya. That's not the issue. The issue is that he has always gone around the country to visit these people and interact with them.
What do you mean?
Now, remember, the president was there in February last year.
Okay.
Was there a problem? Was there a problem in Kenya at that time? No, there was not.
Maybe not.
He was in my constituency in February last year, and he promised us 11 different issues, 11 projects, 11 development initiatives in my constituency. On February 28th last year.
Did he deliver on those ones?
He has delivered on all of them.
Is it?
Apart from 2 that we are still trying to do. He delivered in all of them. Okay. I can tell you for sure. I can read them, maybe you wish. You want to hear them? I can give you. Number one, he visited Kagurumo TTI, and he found students standing from the tents. He asked me, why is this? I told him, we do not have sufficient tuition blocks.
And
we are opening a tuition block that day. Then he said, okay, then we need to do another one. And he said, I will personally contribute 10 million shillings towards construction of a tuition block.
From where?
From his own money, His
pocket?
Yeah. And he contributed. And the ministry contributed 8 million. The institution contributed some more money. The tuition block is now on second floor, going up, being built. He promised.
We get lost when politicians have to go back to their pockets to fund some projects that are...
Why do you get lost? Because before I became a politician, and sank several boreholes and put up a school and educated children. Why is it wrong? It's just, if you have some money, why don't you donate to them?
Just how dangerous is this? And perhaps we need to understand it some more. Because I remember when Mike Sonko was trying to push with the Sonko rescue team, and on the other side, working for the people of Nairobi using the county funds, there was a bit of confusion. And of course, this actually was even challenged at the level of the courts as to, I mean, we really need to get clarity.
Are you saying that people like Bill Gates and
there's actually nothing
Ford Foundation should not be philanthropic? Are you saying that there's something wrong with philanthropy?
Is there anything wrong with that? Professor, you could educate that us on that.
No, let me first of all go back to what the professor said, and I am very surprised, by the way we can be misleading, especially intellectuals, misleading Kenyans, and telling Kenyans that the people were paid. I would like one person to be singled out from where the president visited in my constituency, and to say exactly how much they were paid, if they were paid a cent. We just had the title deeds issued. We had a project that was complete and it was opened, and people went home. I actually left with the team that had come with the president. So when we talk about this payment, you just notify the people that the president is coming at point X. If payments occur in certain parts of this country, it's not in my backyard. It never happened there. So when you tell Kenyans that people were paid, can you give us evidence of payment? For instance, can you tell me who was paid in my constituency?
And because I did this. See that it's coming from the president, the payment.
Now, the president does not pay to visit people. He does not live in the backyard. If people know that the president is visiting, from when I was a child, we have always volunteered to go and listen to him. Always. It's not really just courtesy, but because a visitor has come, but there's something new and different by having a president in your backyard. It's new, it's different. He had never visited that part of the country I took him. The country said, he brought us the title deeds, which have taken since independence
for you to
be processed.
So
we got the title deeds. Is it wrong? What is wrong with that? People are happy today. They are picking titles from their village. They are not picking from the office from the land registry. They are not spending time on the way to go and pick the titles and so on. So that issue of being paid is actually misguided.
In the best interest of time.
We need to correct it. Because we were not called and told you are going to pay people so much. That's the narrative of the Gachagua team. He's the one who came up with even figures. So
1,500, 300.
If we have to smile, we have to clap. Those are
there's a person
unfounded.
Who's a sympathizer of the Big
Can Kongoyo tell us here today that whenever the president visited in his place, he has always paid people?
All right, let's listen into this bite. Let's listen into this bite and also get to hear what he has to say, and in particular about
I want to say the last thing.
Make it brief.
Let me tell you one thing. Somebody says here, and this professor, that the Mount Kenya people are not happy with the president and they were giving him lip service. Let me correct him by saying this. There are promises to the people of the region. And I want you to take this to the bank. If the president delivers all those promises, I want to tell you 100% Mount Kenya will be with him. 100%. It's not an issue of who is feeling what. It's not feeling, it's development.
Do you see, you talk about a shrinked economy. What are the possibilities of the president fulfilling all this?
The economy does not, I'm saying the development vote has shrunk a bit, but the economy now is performing.
And
the last 2 years have been very difficult. Of course, with the limitations. But the economy now is moving forward. There are resources to do several things. And as we move forward, most of those things will be done. And if he can, let me tell you, he doesn't never have to complete roads. If the road is progressively done for a year, You'll get the votes.
2027.
What are you talking about? People are interested in development. They're not interested in narratives. They're not interested in kingship.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And in any case, Ruto does not need to be the king of Mount Kenya. He is the king of Kenya.
He's the president.
He is the president.
Okay.
Does he need I fault even the governor of Nyeri. I mean, he doesn't have to bring that narrative. It's not necessary.
Mheshimiwa Gokoyo, we come to you, but first of all, let's listen into this bite.
Wabunge wakaanza vita kwa sababu wameambiwa wasipopiga magoti, nasikia wataenda nyumbani. So ikafika mahali hapo, sasa nikaelezana na huyu bwana, sasa my friend, please punguza vita na hawa watu wote. Sasa ikanifikia mimi, mimi sasa, unajua, mimi naweza kukufanya one term president. Usipofanya hii, usipofanya hii, usipofanya hii, nahitaji bilioni 10.
As you respond to what it is that Mheshimiwa says here, that there is 2 billion to resign for Rigiji, and then there is 10 billion for him to deliver the Mount Kenya vote. And of course, that is contrary to what it is that Mahesh says here. I mean, if you give them development, if you work for the people, and I think this is not unique to the people of the mountain. Yeah. It is basically what all Kenyans would say, that of course your track record can get you back to office or not. Mheshimiwa Onesmus.
On the contrary, Mheshimiwa has given some wrong indications. The Mount Kenya trip has no new project that the president launched.
Okay.
He did not launch a project. I saw him doing a tuition block in Narumoro, done by NGCDF, by the Member of Parliament, not a project from the Exchequer release, done by the national government. NGCDF is a fund that exists with the president or not.
Yeah.
I was very keen to listen whether Mheshimiwa will mention, because the president came to his area, Kirindini Mithiane Road. The president committed this road 2 years ago. Zero. Nothing ongoing. Kunene St. Anne Road in Tigania West. Zero. In all the 22 constituencies that the president visited, inspection, site visit, handing over, zero. He's using the money from what you are deducted, what you and I are deducted from the housing levy. 25% of that money is going to build markets. For your information, the markets are not done from the Exchequer release. They are coming from the housing levy. And I expected the Member of Parliament for Tigania West to talk of Kianjai Market. 2.5 years ago, the president said that he will build Kianjai Market in a year's time. 2.5 years ago.
He says no, okay.
And let me tell you, the unfortunate part is that the president went to 22 constituencies, no new project. And what he says was new is Ahiti Domba in Kirinyaga. Ahiti Domba was launched in 2017 by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay. The records are there. A video of Uhuru Kenyatta launching the project. So they repainted it again and said now Ahiti Domba is again operational.
You want to tell me there are no locals here who would raise a concern and say that, Mr. President, this is what you said the other time you were here.
Let me tell
Why
you,
is it that you...
Let me tell you, and I want to challenge the Member of Parliament.
Why don't you tell me this after the break?
I'll tell you this.
In the best interest of time,
Okay.
after this short break.